Hey, hi everyone. In this video, we'll talk about how to select the right technology choices for your software product. We'll look into some of the popular technology stacks that are present in the market and at the same time look at parameters that could help your decision making. Let's get started. So a tech stack refers to a set of technology that are used together. These can be used to create the holistic technology product ecosystem and might be addressing different kinds of requirements such as building UI, a core programming language, designing database interfaces, database queries itself. And you might require different programming languages or more popularly called as stack to use them. Let's talk about some of the popular stacks that we have. The first is the LAMP stack, which is going to be the Linux operating system stack. And LAMP really stands for Linux, Apache, MySQL, and PHP. This was used in good old days and I think was a very popular stack till PHP was popular. Largely good for open source server-side scripting, doing your web application, not so popular nowadays. The second is MEAN stack. Now, MongoDB is a NoSQL database. So what MEAN stands for is MongoDB, Express.js is a web-based framework. It's a JavaScript-based web application framework designed for doing web application. Then A is Angular and N is Node. So MongoDB, Express, Angular and Node. We move to MEAN, which is MongoDB. It's the same as a MEAN stack, MongoDB. Then you have E, which is Express.js. Now R stands for React in this case instead of Angular for MEAN. Now MEAN is also common with Next.js stack, but it is also common with Express.js. So either of the cases are popular. Then we moved on to some more larger frameworks such as a .NET stack. Now Microsoft has a very large ecosystem when developing applications. I haven't personally worked on them, but you have C# and it's a very cross-platform programming language to develop web application, to develop mobile application, to develop integrated Windows-based application. The database of choice most commonly is SQL Server. The next is Python language. And Python has a couple of stacks which are popular. I think before Python, let's cover Java. So Java is very popular with enterprise application development. And before Python came, I think Java was de facto language for developing web applications. I think it still is in most large enterprises. So Java is basically used for large enterprise web development, and Spring Boot is a great framework that powers it. You can have a variety of different databases. Tomcat is the usual application server, and I think databases, I would say Postgres is a good one, but you can work with different databases. Going back to Python based stack, Flask and Django are two very popular. Nowadays you have Fast API quickly joining the bandwagon, and these frameworks are all powered by Python as a programming language, Postgres as a database, and in between Flask, Fast API and Django has a varying degree of I think out of the box capabilities to offer to the users. So it's a very interesting stack. A lot of development is getting done in the space, specifically with the modernization and industrialization of data science. And lastly, you have a serverless stack where you develop AWS Lambda or Azure Functions. Typically use S3 buckets or blob storage and use an API gateway or some sort of an Azure API management. This is very good if your application has peaks and troughs in your ecosystem, so you might want to leverage serverless for that. Now, some factors to keep in mind before selecting the tech stack. Number one is the project requirement. I think consider the requirements of the project. Evaluate the type of application, the feature it needs to support. The technology stack should be able to support these. Look at scalability, look at cost, look at development resources. Not all frameworks are scalable. Some are designed to support quick prototyping use cases and might scale to a certain number of users. So do keep scalability in mind. Look at the cost, because some technologies stack might require more expensive hardware, or there could be licensing fees associated with that. Now, development resources, the ID, the community support, all of these are very important factors to also consider before making a technology choice. The last two on my list would be the integration ecosystem and the security. How well does the stack integrate with other technologies kind of makes it diverse and lucrative from a development standpoint, because you can quickly develop new use cases out of your existing code base without having the need to do a lot of refactoring. Security is one of the core reasons that the LAMP stack kind of moved down the ladder is PHP, though I'm no expert in PHP, was thought to be low on security. And so if you consider the security requirements of the project, like data privacy, regulatory compliance, vulnerabilities, do keep in mind how the different stacks have kept up to it, and that should help you make a good decision. As a bonus, I'll also want to talk about some simple deployment options. So we have on-premise, virtual machine, containers, serverless, and PaaS deployments. I will talk about all of these in detail in another video. But at a high level, on-premise is, as the name says, within your infrastructure. Virtual machines is virtual machines. You take a server on the cloud. Containerized deployment is, well, containers, Dockers. Serverless is Lambdas or Azure Functions, and PaaS deployments are, App Engine, Heroku, and stuff like that. You could further go down the ladder and do infrastructure as a service, which is, getting your own infrastructure completely on cloud and installing everything from scratch and doing, infrastructure management. Thank you for listening to me. If you have liked the video, do subscribe to it. Bye bye.